We are going to compare the Canon T5, or 1200D as it's known outside the US, with the Sony a7 Mark II. Price-wise, these cameras are worlds apart. This is over three times the price of Canon T5. So body only, $1698, kit lens and body, battery, SD card, $499. This camera is full frame, 35mm size sensor. This Canon is a crop sensor. So it's a 1.6x multiplier. Video AF, video autofocusing. The Sony a7 II will automatically track subjects to and from as they move away and towards you, where the Canon T5 doesn't do that. You have to put your lens in manual and you have to use focus ring. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
You have to do it when you're super far away, because I tried it in, like 22 feet away or maybe less, and I moved it around and it wouldn't go out of focus. So you have to be like a really different place to make it go out of focus.
It's tricky. When you say it's tricky, it's tricky. This is easy. This is tricky. This you just follow the subject. This you have to really work that focus ring. Weight. Little Britches, you want to tell us a little bit about weight and what you think is important about weight?
I think that by the feel, it feels like the Canon is really lighter than the Sony. And
can I tell you what our results were from weighing them? Okay, so we weighed the Canon T5 body only, battery, SD card, no lens cap, and we come up with 480 grams. It's pretty light, 480 grams. Same condition, no lens cap, SD card, battery, 605.5 grams. So the Sony was a lot heavier than the Canon T5. Using the 35mm 2.8 lens on the Sony, the grand total weight was 737.5 grams. And the total weight, as you see here with the kit lens, was 677. So the Sony was heavier all the way around. So you're right, the Canon is a lighter option.
I'll get back. So it really is good for a kid because it feels way lighter than every camera. Like that Sony, if it was real light, by feel it feels like real little without the stuff on the top of it, and it was flat. It would be really close, but it would be really lighter. But the Canon T5 would seem like it is way lighter by the feel, so it's really good for children. But a thing that's more heavier, it would, like a really heavy camera, it would be really not so good for a kid.
3 frames per second, 5 frames per second. Now right here's an interesting battle, is that if I were on the football field at night, I would probably still choose the Sony. But it's going to be outclassed autofocus wise in low light by the Canon T5. If you stick a nice 7200 2.8 version 2 Canon lens on this Canon T5, you're going to have some really nice focusing ability. Whereas a 7200 in FE mount is f4, it's at night. We can get full frame, we're going to get better looking pictures, cleaner looking pictures. Higher ISO photos are going to come out much cleaner on the Sony. But 5 frames per second, continuous shooting, 3 frames per second, not a lot of difference there. Almost the same. Okay, you're giving me the nod. Battery life. I think battery life is okay. Sony has definitely come a long ways from the Sony a7 and the Sony a6000. You know, you're going to get all-day use. We're in New York City on vacation. carried this camera all day, never had to change battery.
A Canon, way longer battery. It seems like it'll be a little less or more, but in a whole 15 days, you could use your Canon without even changing it once. And on the 16th day, if you use it until 12 o'clock a.m., it will die.
Yeah.
Then.
I think what you're trying to say is that you were able to go a little over 2 weeks without charging your battery, whereas I will have to charge it every day if I'm going to make heavy use of it. If I'm going on an outing, whatever, you're going to have to keep your Sony charged, and I do carry an extra battery. Whereas little Britches never worries about an extra battery and charges only when he needs to. So with that said, there's our Sony a7 Mark II versus the Canon T5. Hope you enjoyed this review from A House Divided. Join in next time. Maybe we'll have another guest vocal appearance from Little Britches.